Hey guys, Nick Horton here, the Iron Samurai, and this is another episode of Samurai Strength, weightlifting for smart people. In today's episode, I'm going to teach you how to be a sushi chef, not in the kitchen, but in your life and in the gym, baby. We're going to learn about how sushi, geometry, and barbells are going to make you less of a stress ball and more of an artist, a master of your own life. And the way I'm going to do that is by teaching you a little bit about geometry. I'm not going to teach you geometry, but rather I'm going to teach you how it works, and why it is that somehow has to do with sushi and sushi chefs, that's true, and with barbells, your life, and everything in the whole damn universe. Before I do that, though, I do want to make very clear that while it might seem like I wore this headband as a gimmick in order, oh, and my shirt too, I got my Samurai Strength shirt on. That's what that is, a samurai symbol, kanji symbol, inside the Zen circle, and that's what we use for Samurai Strength. So you might think that I'm wearing these things because of the sushi chef gimmick, and you know, I'd like to be able to tell you that. The fact of the matter is I'm just a weird guy, and I wear this shit all the fucking time. So that's just me. Deal with it. Also, as dreary and rainy as it might look in the background here, it's not. I'm outside because it's beautiful. This is great Oregon weather in the mountains of North Carolina. It's warm. I'm in a t-shirt. It feels good. It's just wet. That's all. No big deal. But I love this kind of weather, and I pine for it sometimes because I, like everybody who grew up in Portland, I have Stockholm syndrome for the rain. I probably don't actually love the rain, but I think I do because I was forced to live with it for a long period of time. So back to sushi, geometry, and barbells. They are in fact quite related, or rather the approach taken by those who are really good at being a great sushi chef, by those who are great mathematicians, and by those who are damn good athletes, coaches, and people who spend their lives in the gym, are almost identical. And they really come down to this concept that I think is easiest to teach, and to show you, or not show you, I'm not going to show you anything, I'm just going to talk to you, to tell you, how about that, via the methods of geometry, rather than, you know, eating sushi. I want you to be a great artist. That's my goal for you. But I don't mean that obnoxious, smoked out hippie in the woods who's just banging around on a bongo like a fucking monkey, but like a sushi chef is an artist, and that's a totally different kind of artist. Someone who is doing something that looks pretty simple. When you get it at your table, you're thinking, this is beautiful shit. That's simple stuff. I could do that, right? And then you go home and you try to do that. And it turns out it just looks like globs of random rice and fish mixed up into a ball, and then you stuff it in your mouth. And it still tastes pretty decent. It doesn't taste as good. It doesn't look anywhere near as good. And you ask yourself, why is it something that looks so simple, that seems so basic, turned out to actually be a giant pain in the fucking ass to do in real life? No wonder sushi chef can take upwards of 10 to 20 years to be considered a great master. That is a truly great sushi chef. Because it's fucking hard, man. Sometimes, in fact most of the time, to do simple rather than simplistic is really hard. And that is why I advise you take more mathematics. And when I say mathematics, I don't mean the plug and chug kind. What I mean, you know, like numbers. Fuck numbers. What I mean is more proof-based mathematics. And you got a taste of this. You got a taste of that back in high school when you did Euclidean geometry. And what I love about that particular type of mathematics is an easy way for you to grasp the two extreme sides of things that exist all over the place, not just in math. They certainly exist for that sushi chef who's kicking your ass in the kitchen, and they exist in the barbell where I want you to kick ass. That thing that you were supposed to have learned back in high school geometry class is something that I call the art of rigorous abstraction. What mathematicians tend to do, which pisses everybody else off, is they flip everything upside down from the way you're used to it. So those things that you're being really finicky about, they're super abstract about. And those things that you're being really abstract and hand-wavy about, they're being super meticulous about. That's fucking annoying. But goddamn, it's powerful. But how does it work? It works like this. Let's say you have the earth and you have a basketball. And I come in, Mr. Mathematician, and I tell you, you know what? Both of those are spheres. And you come back to me and you say, no, they ain't, you dumb motherfucker. Look at that mountain. Look at that valley. Look on this basketball at all the little bumps and the ridges. That's not a sphere. It breaks the rules of a fucking sphere. Mountains are these huge, like, things sticking up, and then you have, like, valleys and shit. Like, it doesn't make sense. That's not a sphere. I know what a sphere is. It's supposed to be exactly perfectly spherical, as they say. And technically, you're right, of course, but you're being a dumbass. The reason you are being a dumbass is that you're missing the point. That in order to understand broader concepts about the universe, those things that have led to your ability to be on YouTube right now watching my crazy face in this ridiculous headband, come down to an ability to abstract out from these piddly details that we can just ignore for now. That it is important, in fact, to be able to do that. And if you can't do it, we don't get to have iPhones upon which I can record things. And it doesn't stop there. We can abstract out from Euclidean geometry. Euclidean geometry is actually quite rigid. For instance, we have all these different types of triangles. We have ellipses and we have circles, right? Well, if we go up another level, we go to something called topology, which I will not explain. I'll let Wikipedia do that for me. But it allows you to say, well, a circle and an ellipse and a square and a triangle are actually all the same damn thing. I'm not going to tell you why. But in that field of mathematics, they've abstracted things more, and they've gotten rid of more of those mountains. Gotten rid of more of those valleys. And of course, we could keep going like that. We go up to things like category theory, and then from there we have something called higher category theory, and Lord knows how far that's going to keep going. So it would be easy to get uber excited about this abstraction concept, and that's important. That's one side of what needs to be done. The problem is left to its own devices, we end up like that hippie in the woods smoking weed, banging on a bongo. We're not actually a musician at that point. We are somebody who is breaking a noise ordinance. Instead, as I said earlier, we want to be abstract and rigorous at the same time. So in other words, when we move up to, say, the level of geometry, right, we're going to stop there. We're going to say, let's agree to be in geometry land, right? So the mountains and the valleys, they're gone. But a sphere is still different than a square or than a circle even, right? And these are all separate objects, and we're going to treat them quite rigidly within this particular abstraction we're in, which we're going to call geometry, Euclidean geometry specifically. What kind of interesting results would we have failed to get if we didn't notice that there are different types of triangles? And that some of those have led to things like the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and that we use in all kinds of areas that have nothing whatsoever to do with geometry. This is exactly what's happening with a sushi chef or a great artist of any kind. They are able to be abstract, creative thinking, right? They are able to broaden themselves out of the little box we tend to wrap ourselves up into. But they do so in a meticulous way, so that they aren't missing out on great results along the way. Let's take a really classic example in your life. You get pissed off about a lot of stupid shit. That's a fact, right? You are stressed out all the damn time about shit that just doesn't matter. In 20 years from now, you're going to laugh about it. You are not even going to remember, in fact, most of the things you get pissed off about all the damn time. You are an angry son of a bitch about some stupid ass crap in your life. That happens all the time. We all do. Every human being is really prone to being pissed off about stupid shit. And that's bad enough. The really bad thing, however, is that you're not being very meticulous about the things that you are going to care about in 20 years. Now, this isn't you, but there's a whole population out there of human beings in our first world here who don't exercise at all, but in 20 years they're going to wish to God they did, right? They are going to wish that they had spent a substantial portion of their life dedicating themselves to their physical health. But they're not, and they won't. And in 20 years they're going to be rather pissed off about it. But they're being really meticulous about a lot of things that in 20 years they aren't going to care about. Now, that's easy for us to say about them. The fact of the matter is we do it too. We do it all the damn time. There are so many areas of our own lives where we are so picky and finicky and just wacky crazy about stuff that we aren't going to care about. And the things that we really should be caring about, the stuff that's going to have long-term consequences, that is going to alter our lives, literally change our entire life, for better or for worse, we're just letting slide. We're so hand-wavy about it. We're not being meticulous about that at all. That's bad. That's anti-sushi chef. That's hippie in the woods smoking weed, banging on a bongo. Bongos are great. Richard Feynman, the great physicist, was a bongo player, but he was a good bongo player, and that's totally different. What I want you to be, if you're going to be a bongo player, is to be a good one. I want you to be the sushi chef of bongo players. I want you to be the sushi chef of barbell lifters. I want you to be a sushi chef in your life. Create beauty. Strive for simplicity and eschew simplisticness. Get rid of the over-focus, the hyper-focus on stupid shit that flat out doesn't matter. And start getting really serious and rigorous about those things that do. Everybody around you is going to think you're nuts. You might even start wearing weird headbands. I don't know. But you, in 20 years, will be one happy motherfucker that you did. Speaking of smart things that you can do with your life, you should go to weightliftingacademy.com right now and sign up for free to get the 7 Deadly Sins of Weightlifting ebook, a 5-day How to Snatch e-course. Join our training logs, our chat room, and the community inside, all of which are going to help you to become a better version of yourself. That is to stop spending so much time focused on things that don't matter and start spending time on those very few things in the world that do, like headbands. All this talk about sushi is making me very hungry.